I'm filming right now on the Pocket 4P and I've brought you back to my home city of Norwich. This is an ancient city, so there are details hidden everywhere, which makes this a perfect test for the DJI Pocket 4P. We're going to be testing out the new 1-inch sensor and the 3x optical zoom on this camera so we can hunt out some of the details around the city. So let's take a look at the shots. So in this video, I'm going to be talking a lot about the 3x zoom on this camera. And one reason this is really great is that it really improves portrait shots. So the 1x wide is great for showing where you are. But if you really want to draw the viewer into your story, you can use the 3x and we can get some nice portrait shots with some great depth of field. Now what you'll notice is you get some great background separation. The skin tones look really good. So this is, as I say, a great way of drawing the audience in, keeping nice clean skin tones and getting that cinematic depth of field that we all try and go for. The 60mm 3x lens really gives you that cinematic look, and you can use this in ways to pull people in. So in this shot here coming up, you can see this is wide, you can see the beach, but use that 3x telephoto and look at this. It really just gives the shot a whole new look that has never really been achievable before, and I think this looks really, really nice. Let's see it side by side. So I've come down to Norwich Cathedral because I think this is one of the best areas to test out dynamic range on cameras like this, because you have incredibly well-lit areas and incredibly dark areas, and a lot of the times you have those areas together so you can see how well the camera handles the dynamic range. So let's go and explore the cathedral and we'll see how D-Log2 works in a place like this. And it's also a great place as well to test the new 3x optical zoom. There's even a falcon at the top of the cathedral here, so maybe I'll try and get some shots of him as well while we're here. Now for the proper test, I picked the hottest, brightest day of the year in the UK for this one. We've got bright sun hammering down on the cloisters, so you have pitch black shadows under the arches, and that's pretty brutal for any sensor. Now, the Pocket 4P's got a new 1-inch LOFIC sensor with 17 stops of dynamic range. That's up from the 14 on the Pocket 4. So in plain English, it's going to hold on to the bright bits and the dark bits at the same time in the same shot without breaking down. And 17 stops of dynamic range, that's actually better than most high-end cameras that you can get these days. And then shooting in the new D-Log 2 profile in 10-bit, I had loads of room in Final Cut Pro to grade it afterwards. Another thing I like about the Pocket 4P is the new 5D joystick. It means you can do some real nice tilts and pans with the gimbal joystick. Instead of it being like a really sudden jerky movement, you can get some real smooth movements. I'll show you here on the cathedral spire. Okay, here's the headline, 2 cameras in this little thing. First of all, we've got a new 1-inch sensor. This is your wide angle lens, 20mm f2.0. And then we have the brand new 60mm telephoto lens at f1.8. So I stood outside the cathedral and basically just zoomed. So let's take a look. 1 times, this is the wide, pretty nice. 3 times, I mean, just look at the detail in the stonework. Both of these shots are razor sharp, and it stays lossless all the way up to 6 times zoom as well. And then if you want, you've also got a 12 times digital zoom. So yes, you do lose a small bit of quality, but honestly, look at this. I think it still looks very, very usable. I mean, I'm across the street here looking at carvings on a spire with a camera that fits in my jeans pocket. I mean, this is pretty crazy. So perfect example. There's a little practice recital going on over there. I want to check out these stained glass windows. And you know, this wide angle lens is absolutely beautiful for getting the interiors of buildings like this. But let's zoom into those windows. So we're now on the 3 times, which looks pretty good. And remember, this is fairly low light. Now let's move into the 6 times lossless, which I think looks really fantastic. Again, bearing in mind, this is low light. And then you can, of course, go into the 12 times, which kind of blew me away from how far I was from this stained glass window. Okay, so the next thing we have with the camera is this new separate screen. It's a small separate device that you can take with you, and it means that you can control the DJI Pocket 4P away from the camera. A bit like you can with the mobile app, but this just makes it a little bit easier. You can activate ActiveTrac and also set the zoom range as well. So if ActiveTrac is on, I can see that on the screen here. And so if I'm filming myself outside here in Norwich Cathedral, I can get some little shots of me walking around. But if I'm this far away and actually want to zoom in a little bit, I can just activate the screen here. I can put the zoom on. Let's go into 3 times. And there we go. We've still got ActiveTrac on and we're in the 3 times mode. So as I kind of walk around now, you can see I've got Norwich Cathedral in the background. Should be a nice little bit of background separation now as well, which is quite nice. So we get a little bit of that background blur. It's almost like we've got a camera person with us and we can continue to get some really nice shots as we film. And still talking about the zoom as well, even if you are showing off small products like this to camera, it's actually quite cool to use the 3 times zoom so you get some really nice depth of field. Let me show you. So I was just about to do some B-roll of this for this shot. We'll do that of course, but I'll show you that with the 1 times and the 3 times zoom. Okay, so this is on the 1 times. Still some real nice depth of field. You can put the device closer to the camera to get that depth of field. But what we can also do is change it to 3 times. And then I have to hold it out further, but the depth of field is absolutely beautiful now. Really, really nice. It's a little harder to kind of hold because you have to hold it further away. But it's nice, you can now get shots like this that look like they come from a mirrorless camera, to be honest. If you're ever in Norwich, here's a little treat for you. Come and find the what people think is the ancient keyboard in the pavement here at the top of Elm Hill. Let me show you. So it's just down here next to the church, and it was actually put in by an art student, I think in the 80s, so it's not actually that old, but there's a rumour that it's an ancient civilization who first discovered the keyboard, that kind of thing. But yeah, unfortunately it's just an art student, but still quite cool to see a keyboard mould in quite an ancient part of the city in the pavement. Now for the low light, I headed out to the St Ives countryside to my friends Eddie and Annie's place for a Fade Projects dinner. Now Eddie's a seriously good chef, so he cooked up an absolute feast. We had mussels, fresh prawns, bread, pizza, all whilst I was filming in dimming evening light. Now because they're way out into the sticks, the light just started to fall away. We had golden hour, then dusk, and then basically pitch black. I think the Pocket 4P held its color and stayed clean all the way down to when I couldn't even see with my own eyes. And then for a test, I flicked it onto the low light mode, and honestly, it almost turned night into day. Just take a look at this shot. So I think whether you want true dark nights, basically with no noise for more cinematic true shots, or if you want to see the detail, if you want it to be brighter after dark, both of the Pocket 4 modes work great for both scenarios. I mean, I do like it when I'm filming personally to actually be able to film the night scenes and have it nice and dark. But the problem with a lot of small cameras is that they instantly get very, very noisy. I'm pleased to sort of say really with the D-Log2 profile, you can keep that ISO nice and low and get clean shots like this where the blacks just stay truly black. So back in the studio editing this video, and this was one of the shots I was really impressed with. So this is filmed in D-Log2. And it's hard to describe because the camera was doing such a good job how bright it was that day. It was one of the hottest days of the year. I purposely went out at midday so the sun is just beaming straight down into the cloisters here. So this was very, very dark to me, and the outside was extremely bright. When you walked out, you know, you needed sunglasses on. So you can see here that we have all this color information here. Now when I put on the official LUT here, you can just see, if I just zoom in here, you can see the detail instantly that's here, and you can play around with this. So you know, if I want to bring the highlights right up, I can bring them right down, so we really bring back the detail here in the brightness sections. So I'm just going to bring it below that line. Again, the shadows here, you know, the shadows could be crushed. Probably on most cameras this is how this would look. You know, you just wouldn't get a look in because it would be trying to expose for the background. But again, we can just pull up the detail here. The LUT does most of the work for you, but you can see that we can bring back all the detail here, and it doesn't introduce any noise. And then the mid-tones as well, we can play around with that. So if you really want to pull up this, you can bring up the mid-tones, we can take the highlights down, and it still looks nice and clean. So this is really, really impressive. Let me just get it back to a normal kind of level. I think that looks really, really good. And then of course, what you can also do is add other LUTs. So if I put another LUT on here, let's just drag this on top, and then I'm going to maybe, let's do some vintage ones. So if I do like an 80s LUT, we can just turn that right down, and then we've got like a nice vintage look. Let's do one that's a little bit more extreme, shall we? Cinematic, nice orange and teal. Put the blues up there. So you can really play around with your footage like never before. Add the LUTs that you want to get that cinematic look that you want for your story. And yeah, I mean, the Pocket 4 was fantastic, but this new D-Log2 profile, it almost means that you never have to worry about the camera under or overexposing, especially, this was all in auto, by the way. It was automatic exposure, D-Log2. Of course, you can fine tune it yourself, but it's so good now that unless you're doing some, you know, proper serious work that you're doing for a client that wants everything manual, for travel, adventure videos, for YouTube, honestly, I'm going to leave this in automatic for almost all of my videos. It looks so, so good. If you want to grab those LUTs, by the way, I'll put a link in the description below. Okay, so let's talk about portraits. This is where that tele lens really earns its keep in portraits. The 60mm lens at f1.8 melts the background away and keeps faces looking really natural and lovely, true to life skin tones, I think. So I shot this on Elm Hill with all of those colorful Tudor houses behind. And honestly, it looks so close to my Sony cameras when I put like a £2,000-3,000 lens on the camera. This looks as good as that. Honestly, it really does. The Pocket 4P also comes with the new magnetic fill light that I showed off in my Pocket 4 review. So basically you can attach it to the back of the camera like this, and then the light will automatically come on. It's got 3 brightness levels, 3 color temperatures, warm through to cool, so you can light up your face without carrying an extra external light with you. Just take this thing in your pocket and you're good to go. So if it's a bit too dark, flick it on, and I think it really does make any shot look instantly better. It's also good if you are filming things like, you know, your meals on adventures, or you've got product shots and you just want to add a little bit of light. Even when I film myself in the car where it feels like there's a lot of light, sometimes just having a little boost from this really improves the shot. And then when you're done, you can pop this back in your bag. And then for slow motion, we have up to 240 frames per second in this camera. Again, incredible for something this small and thin and light. 240 frames in 4K, that's pretty good. And I think the 50 frames a second looks particularly good as well. That's what I always tend to film in if I know I'm going to want to slow something down. 4K 50, I think it looks really nice. Now for audio, the built-in microphone in the Pocket 4P is really good. But in the combo that I got here, you actually get a DJI Mic 3. Pair it and you get crisp vocals. And this is the microphone that I was using outside in Norwich. So if you just skip back to there, you can hear exactly what this microphone sounds like. And this is the one that I always use with my Pocket 4 as well. So I'll be using this with the Pocket 4P as I go forward. Okay, so let's say you're out on a shoot and you've forgotten to take your SD card with you. Well, with the Pocket 4P, it really doesn't matter because it has over 100 gigabytes of storage built directly into the camera itself. And then taking your videos off the camera is extremely fast as well, over 800 megabytes per second. So yeah, lightning speeds over USB. So less faff, more shooting. So the Pocket 4P, 2 cameras, monster dynamic range, a fill light, D-Log2, all in something that vanishes into your pocket. I mean, look at that. I can just take this off. Look how tiny that is. So if you want the very best pocket experience and that new zoom range, I definitely think this is the one to get. Now, I'll of course be doing a longer term video review with this camera, best settings video like we normally do, and I'll be pitting it against the Pocket 4 as well. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see those videos, and let me know in the comments section below, what do you think of the new zoom lens on this camera? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.